Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is a member of the Armed Services, Appropriations, Budget, and Judiciary Committees. He's a busy guy. Good to see you, Senator.
Great to be with you.
All right, so I just went through a long list of actions that the United States is doing with regard to Russia and Ukraine. You must be much more satisfied today.
Better late than never. No, this is trending in the right direction, sending the fighters to Poland to help with the Baltic patrolling. You know, the Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania are democracies that Putin's been giving a hard time. Calling this election in a couple of weeks about the status of the Crimea illegitimate and outside of international law is a great step. And here's what I worry about. I don't see how in the world you could call this a fair election. How would you like to be in the Crimea and vote against Putin today when he occupies the place? So,
no doubt.
And about there no Russians in Crimea, I can understand the uniform thing a bit, but where did the non-Russians get the armored personnel carriers and the tanks?
Well, it's also relevant for the fact that Putin appears to not really be backing down as of yet. I mean, we mentioned that he sunk a Russian ship so that Ukrainian ships cannot get out. What do you make of that?
Well, it means that the Russians are being provocative toward Crimea and the Ukraine. Putin's lying. This is a Russian invasion of Crimea. This election coming up is a sham. We should not recognize it. Nobody could cast a free and fair vote about the fate of Crimea under these conditions with an armed invasion. They're in violation, the Russians are, of the 1994 agreement, where the Ukraine people turned over all their nuclear weapons to Russia in exchange for a promise by Russia to honor their territorial sovereignty, included Crimea.
Right.
So they're in violation of the 94 agreement. They're in violation of international law. When you sink a ship in a country's harbor, that's an act of war.
Right. Well, Senator, I have to bring you back to some tweets that you posted in the last couple of days. I don't know if you've tweeted yet today or not, but here's what you said. You said it started with Benghazi. When you kill Americans and nobody pays a price, you invite this type of aggression, #Ukraine. Would you rephrase that now, or would you say the same thing?
Oh, gosh, no. I mean, it's just a long list. But when you have a consulate overrun in Libya and you know where the chief suspects are and you do nothing about it, no one pays a price for killing 4 Americans, what kind of signal do you think it sends when the president says we're going to bring those who killed these Americans to justice, and the leader of the pack does CNN interviews and nobody is doing anything about it in our government? When you tell Syria you better not cross this red line, you better not use chemical weapons or else, and nothing happens, they get stronger, not weaker. The list goes on and on and on. And finally, he is stepping up his game a bit, the president. But we have had a failed foreign policy for quite a while. When you kill Americans and nothing happens, when you threaten retaliation against a dictator like Assad, he uses chemical weapons and he crosses a red line, you say it, nothing happens, you invite aggression. You see it all over. When you leave Iraq, everybody thinks you're weak.
Lindsey Graham sticking to his ground today. We'll follow your tweets. Senator, thank you.
Thanks. Keep it up, Mr. President.